I said, hey, are we starting? Am I you? Are you me?
Welcome to episode 46 of Video Games Are Hard. Take 2, take 46, it's Average Trey over there. It's Average Trey's over there.
This is literally take 2, and this is me once again saying that mumbling was actually scripted.
It was, genuinely scripted.
This is way funnier for us because Sid messed up his recording, and now we're doing it again. I mumbled again in a way of, hey, we're so relatable, we're unpredictable, we're figuring it out. I said that twice as well. So
yeah, I did more of an intro. I'm Sid Williams, he's Average Trey. This is Video Games Are Hard, and this is our two guests we have here this week of nobody. We didn't.
I was gonna jump in like I was gonna pretend to be the guest.
Oh, you were gonna jump in?
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Cathalon.
Cathalon? We got Cathalon?
Hey guys, it's Kenny Cola.
Oh, that's terrible. That's bad.
Yeah, this is a pretty rough guest.
But yeah, we were supposed to have guests this week. I kind of dropped the ball on that. Gonna be honest. That was a me problem.
But you know, it happens.
Hey, you know what? Next week, actually, they're confirmed to be on the podcast.
And I am quite excited for the, there's going to be a returning guest, and the new one I'm actually pretty excited for.
Ooh, but nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows.
Except for the guests themselves.
Except for them. So be pumped for next week. But today is a second guest list in a row. We were talking about it the other day. Like, we actually had a genuine conversation for the first time in a while, like off
Right,
podcast.
because when we go on here, we're kind of just, it's all business. There's no,
it's super
there's
business.
no heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we just talk about like what games we played and then go like co-op gaming's a farce and then whatever.
And we have to make sure that our reviews are pristine for the millions of listeners to not critique us too hard. And
out of 10.
You got to be very, very, choose our words carefully.
Fastidious.
Yes, we have to double check, triple check our ratings out of 10, make sure they're flawless.
Mm-hmm.
Just not off the cuff at all.
There's a lot of prep that goes into this podcast. I'll tell you what.
We script the whole thing, actually. Remember? Hey, do you remember last season when at some point you joked about how we script the whole thing and someone believed us?
I seem to recall something about that.
Someone's like, "Do you guys actually script the whole thing?" I'm like, yes, we actually type pages and pages of exactly what we're going to say each time. It's crazy.
For an hour and a half.
Yeah, and we have like built in, make sure you have a awkward pause here. And
make sure you laugh at this joke. If you don't laugh, I'll cry.
You got to have a breathe some nose out your air. Or no?
Dude, I love breathing nose out my air, bro.
I think I just messed up the script. Goddamn.
Or it's scripted.
Hey, wait, no. On the script right here, you mixed up the words. Are you dyslexic? What is
breathe
it?
Breathe the nose out your air, my guy.
Yes, I said breathe the nose out your air. That for real. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, the other day we had like an offline conversation where we were talking about we were talking about like who we were going to have on the podcast this week.
Yeah, and then how like our original intent for this podcast before we even started it was just going to be us the whole time.
Yeah,
and the whole guest thing was kind of like an afterthought. We're like, hey, we'll bring on Cathalon. Why not?
Yeah,
and we have him here. What's up, Cathalon? Hey, what's up? It's me, Cathalon. No, it's not. That was me.
Bro, he's back. Oh,
yo, Cathalon, you're alive. Yeah, I know. I was lost, guys.
Cathalon, I need to ask you your opinion on breathing nose out your air.
Well, you see, that'd be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous. I look at Trey.
In fact, it's so ridiculous. I'm probably just gonna leave. Bye, guys. No, Cathalon, come back. No.
See you, Cathalon. But yeah, initially the podcast was gonna be way different, and we just kind of fell into making every other podcast a guest pod. But yeah, but I don't know. It's fine to just kind of sit and chill and talk. And talk about games we've played. Like, what's funny is that initially you weren't like a casual gamer and we were just speedrunners, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like we wouldn't even have these like segments of us talking about the games we've played for just like for the past few weeks past few guest lists, I guess. There's been like wide swaths of it that's just like, oh, you've been playing Bug Fables, I've been playing Mundan, you've been playing whatever. But like initially season 1, none of that happened.
Yeah, it's so weird how different recent episodes were versus like some of the first episodes of season 1. I feel like we were more we would choose just like a general gaming, not even always gaming, just like a general topic.
Yeah.
And then we would just like sort of try to have like an interesting conversation about that or something.
Yeah.
Like the second episode ever was like how we're saying how, what was it? Every game is like Farmville or something.
Yes.
Or everyone has like a little bit of Farmville in them.
Everybody does have a little bit. It is confirmed though.
Yeah, it's like scientifically proven that it's true.
Everybody enjoys Farmville to some extent, or has that like, just that
like every game has sort of Farmville-y elements to it that people sort of get hooked on.
But yeah, but like, or we like went just like, okay, what news stories do you have? Like we literally went into the news. Yeah. Like we don't go into the news.
We were much more newsy back then, yeah.
Yeah, we were much like talking about what was coming out. Like I guess COVID kind of killed that because no games come out.
Well, like COVID was the news.
Yeah,
and everyone was talking about that, so we're like, well, we're not really that special talking about this. So.
Well, also, like, what are we going to talk about? Is like, wear your mask. I think when COVID came around the first time, I talked about like my first experience at Costco with the masks on, and I was just like, oh, this seems very odd. But like nowadays,
now it's like, okay, that's normal.
Yeah, it's like it's super normal and
very interesting how quickly humans adapt to their new environment. Like that.
But it's also it's normal, but at the same time, like now that I don't even know if COVID's on the wane. Is COVID on the wane? Like the fact that everything's like kind of trying to go back to normal. It's weird to see people without masks.
Yeah, I haven't had to wear a mask at work for a few months. It's been, I'd say it's pretty much been on the Wayne's world.
Yeah, on the world of the Waynes.
On the Wayne's world, but I don't want to speak too soon because this might age badly. So
sure.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I have like in my brain of what happened over the past week is I linked you a tweet. This is what we used to do. We used to like.
Oh DM. Yeah, we used to link tweets to each other like every single day.
Yeah, just like oh this. Not even like podcast related, just kind of back and forth kind of deal.
Or generally it's like I quit Twitter, then the next day we send more tweets.
Yeah, exactly. But I actually sent you a tweet about the Nintendo Switch versus the Wii U.
Yeah, this is really interesting actually.
Yeah, talking about the topics we used to have. So the hardware units of Nintendo Switch, the Switch, the Nintendo Switch. Huh?
Yeah, I think your French is coming out.
Yeah, my French is coming out. The number of hardware units, so the number of Nintendo Switches in the environment, in the world, have outweighed the number of software units for the Wii U. So like the number of games for the Wii U.
Yeah, so that includes, and like the Wii U had digital games, right?
Yeah.
So the number of like physical Switches sold is more than every game sold on the Wii U, including just downloading it.
It's crazy.
Like, yeah, I don't know if that says a lot about the Wii U's failure or a lot about the Switch's success. Maybe both.
Well, see, the big thing about the Wii U's failure is looking at this number right now. So it's set in stone. It's 13.56 million units sold for the Wii U. Nobody's buying a Wii U now.
Yeah.
And everybody acknowledges the GameCube is a failure, and it has nearly double.
Mm-hmm. And that was years beforehand when gaming wasn't even as mainstream.
Yeah. So
I think GameCube, it's like borderline successful. Like obviously it looks really bad next to the PS2, but then again everything did. The PS2 was just like a monstrosity of a console.
But yeah, well, it had a DVD player.
The DVD player, that's all you need.
That's genuinely all you need.
And then the GameCube had like the small disc, and like I don't want the small disc, I want a regular size disc. I doubt that was part of the problem, but maybe it was.
Yeah, I don't think anybody got out the GameCube and went,
actually,
okay.
No, there is some truth to that. I saw a video one time about how, in a weird way, people always like talk about how piracy is bad. Don't steal stuff. Obviously, piracy is illegal.
Sure.
But in a weird backhanded way, piracy actually can lead to the success of many things. And because of the tiny disc form factor of GameCube games and the way that they were like digitally stored or whatever, it was much more difficult to pirate stuff for GameCube. And I forget the reason why, but somehow that made it so like the console itself didn't do as well.
Really?
I gotta see that video again to remember what the reason was, but something about how it's like much easier to crack PS2 stuff, I guess, contributed to success somehow. I could be, don't quote me on that, but I think that's true.
I don't. It's the tagline at the bottom of the commercial. The don't quote me on that. like instead of. Well, like I was joking about it on commentary with Funky the other day, where we were just talking about the random taglines at the bottom and just like what if it was just like random bullshit. And one of the suggestions in the chat was just like, don't quote me on that. So it's just like somebody rambling about some sort of medication that you use for like just those commercials that you see. It's like, oh, could cause vomiting, heart palpitations, death, like when they mumble really, really fast. And then at the bottom is just like, please see your doctor or whatever. But instead it says like, don't quote me on that. Like it's literally just says asterisk, don't quote me on that.
And then it's like, I don't think I could. You're talking so fast. I don't know if I even physically could quote you on that, but sure. Yeah.
But yeah, we used to be like more news centric, exactly like that. Exactly.
Pretty much. And then we got more into non-speedrunning stuff. Still speedrun, you know, if it's Sunshine mainly, but yeah, you know, back in the day I was sort of still dipping my toe in the new games like Double Dash and stuff. I would talk about my ventures with that.
Yeah.
But right now I'm really focused on just the mastery. It's not even truly like speedrunning in a way, because speedrunning really encompasses the idea of not just like mastering games you've already done, but also learning new games and like trying to perfect those.
Sure.
I'm really just fully focused 100% on the trying to master Sunshine 80% to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Because I've been just not like crazy inspired or anything, but like motivated enough to want to push myself to, because also like I know that I can do it and hopefully get, I don't know, pretty fucking good time. We'll see. So.
Yeah. I feel like you're more speedrun focused than I am even nowadays. But
you know, on that same token, I'm also very much casual. You know, there's the mastering, the one thing I'm known for, along with in my downtime, just doing, you know, checking out the bucket list, you know, various movies, various shows, various casual games I want to get to. Mm-hmm. So it's been sort of a mixture of that.
But as like a quick speedrun related thing, so we were talking about it last week, and it's kind of good that we don't have guests this week. So that we can kind of talk about the fact that so your GDQ, we confirmed that your GDQ run didn't go in last week.
Yes, and some people are happy about that because
because my 96 Shines run for ESA actually got accepted.
Woo!
And
dude,
so
I'm actually so glad about, like, it's officially in, like, officially.
Yeah. I think like, well, like what I've been told is that everything like that passes the first round of submissions that's just like immediately on the accepted list is confirmed in. Like,
yeah, because they're doing this weird thing where they're showing there's like a first round
pass.
of cuts or something.
Yeah, there's like a first pass.
I'm kind of in the mindset that's kind of weird. I feel like they should just sort of, like GDQ does, release the final games list all at once, because why string people along just to get let down?
It is funny. Well, also because the games list, so the games list for GDQ is already like out and the schedule's made, right?
Yeah, and actually, speaking of which, originally there was not going to be Sunshine, but then actually SB Electric, sorry, no dead naming, SB Runs, 120 Shines submission went from a backup game to actually being in it. So congrats, SB.
Yeah, congrats.
I don't know how many Sunshine runners are actually going to that event, but I mean, I had an idea where if there's not many Sunshine runners going apart from him, they should recreate the vibe of the TOEFL 2013 run.
Yeah. Get
Trihex in there, get Bonesaw in there. Just, you know, have a grand old time.
That's a great idea. But
the Do crew finally back.
I can't imagine they'll do that.
Yeah, I know. After for a 3-hour run.
Yeah, just like keep that vibe up for 3 hours. Damn.
That'd be insane if that vibe could last that long. Imagine. Yeah. I don't think it's possible.
But for like it's GDQ's games list is already out and the schedule. I'm pretty sure the schedule is already like confirmed.
Yes, it's been confirmed for about a week now, I think.
Yeah, with ESA, apparently the full games list and the the schedule is going to be all the way confirmed on the 27th.
Oh wow! I thought it was going to be much sooner than that.
Yeah, they said 27th. They could like move up the date. They could have something different, but I definitely read 27th.
But you said that there's no chance that your run isn't in.
Well, I don't want to I like knock on wood, I guess, but like from what I've heard, it's like all but confirmed.
Where did you hear this from?
I was told not by Samu, but like through sources from Samu.
Okay, and I would bet that Samu sort of is a little bit in the know.
Yeah.
Being such a long time figurehead and European himself. So.
Yeah, and he's been in. I'm pretty sure he's had an ESA run before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So So I've been 96 Shines confirmed in ESA, like all but confirmed, I guess. And we're I was going anyway, and I'll be
regardless
there.
of it getting in or not. Like we weren't worried about that. So.
Like I literally took passport pictures today. And I am going to talk to people about like filling out passport stuff today, but like it'll be like it's all we're working on it, and we'll be going there, and Trey's going to come with. So it'll be Sid doing the 96, me doing the 96 Shines run, and Trey at the very least doing commentary.
And more importantly, just going to Europe for the first time, both of us. Yeah. Actually, it's pretty exciting.
And much to your chagrin, like as we were doing pre-podcast, I've never been on a plane before.
Yeah, that shocked me. You're older than me and never been on a plane. That's nuts.
I've only crossed the border once to Michigan for a soccer tournament when I was 14. And apparently, like I actually talked to my mother recently about like, oh, did like I have a passport back then? I don't remember because it was however many years ago. And she was just like, no, we didn't require it back then. Like, we actually didn't need a passport to cross the American border until...
Oh, yeah. I wonder... Yeah, when did it start doing that?
I don't know when, but I know you need it now.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that they're actually pretty strict with those rules now. Even... You wouldn't think going into Canada to be like that, fishy or anything. No. But they're pretty strict about their ID and stuff doing that, so...
Yeah. Like, well, this wasn't like... this must have been like 15 years ago. So, what's the math? 2007, I guess.
Sounds about right.
When I was fine with crossing the border with like your some sort of valid ID.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently since then it's changed. So, but yeah, I've never been on a plane ride before. This is gonna be my first time essentially leaving the country. Like I went 20 minutes into Michigan by car and then came back. Like. It wasn't an insane
that is
trip.
Technically more leaving the country than I did, because the most I did was I could see Canada from Ohio. Because I was the very north part of Ohio by one of the Great Lakes. I think it was Lake Erie or something.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, hey, that little island right there, that's Canada. I'm like, whoa, I can see Canada. It looks just like America.
You've never been to Niagara Falls?
Nah.
Damn, bro.
Why is that so crazy?
Well, like, so I've like... Usually when people go like, oh, I saw America from Canada, or I saw Canada from America, it's like, oh, I went to Niagara Falls. Like,
do I look like some kind of normie tourist to you? Come on.
Hey,
I'm a special kind of tourist.
I've been to Niagara Falls twice. Once for a school trip.
I think you say once for like a cool bath or a cool shower, just under the falls.
Yeah, I was just like, I had a hard day and I had to go on the ferry. There's a ferry that goes underneath the waterfall that I went.
Wow.
But yeah, I went there for a school trip, and I went there to be my uncle's ring bearer when I was like 10.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was
So I was asking you questions because I never flown internationally. Like, so is the process in the airport just the same as like non-international? Is like the same, like, except you show them your passport, or you're like, I've never been on a plane. I don't. You're asking the wrong person.
Like I was just like, I was confused because I was just like, I don't know. Like I don't know what the process is. I know the process of picking up people from the airport. I know that process.
Okay, that's something.
Yeah, I walk in and be like, oh, okay, you got your bags, and then we go. But. Not walking in and being like, I have a plane to leave this airport.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's the same thing, except when you go to the TSA or whatever, it's like not just your ID, but also your passport. Otherwise, like totally identical, probably. Maybe some other, stricter TSA procedures to make sure you're not some crazy guy going to Europe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope there's no crazy guys going to Europe.
I for the first time today, I started looking into flights, and I found a flight that was just over $1,000, which is not too bad. It was like a 1062, I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no direct flights from Kansas City to where we want to go. Mine has like a layover to going up to Chicago, and then I got to spend, there's like a 5-hour layover there. And then you go from Chicago to the, what's it called? Copenhagen. Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Chopin.
and then you take the bridge.
Or no, actually, no. There's 2 stops. It goes from there to like someplace in a southern part of that continent. There's only like a 40-minute layover, and then you go to Copenhagen from there.
Oh, okay.
So basically, only 2 stops, and one of them is like a pretty long stop. But I mean, I think it should be fine. Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah, like we'll figure out flights and stuff. But I was looking at it like a month ago, and there was like there was a direct flight from here to Copenhagen.
Dude, yeah, I actually looked into it because I was curious about like the Toronto to there flights. Yeah. And there was something from like Air Canada just going directly there. I'm like, dude, that's so busted.
And then it's just like direct and then take a train ride and then you're good.
Yeah, I did not have such option, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely figure it out. But yeah, so all but confirmed, etc.
Yep.
And we're gonna make the voyage. And I haven't really brought it up to you, but would you obviously do you want to try to do some prep?
Oh yeah, I mean we'll definitely have to prep. Or do you mean just in general or for the run?
Well, what do you mean
for commentary prep?
Yeah, commentary prep.
Okay, I thought you meant like what shirt are you gonna bring?
I was actually
bring the Dutch J shirt or the Nazi Boy shirt. Or
yeah. I was thinking I would wear either we have the same color of Dutch J shirt.
Oh, the what's it? The color?
The pale blue, whatever the fuck.
The pale blue. Yeah.
We both have that one, so it'd be cool if we just both had it.
Don't you have the red one too?
I do have the red one. I don't know where it is.
You bought 2 of them. Oh, you lost that one?
I don't know where the red one is.
What if we just both wear that shirt on the run?
That'd be so and don't mention it.
Yeah, don't bring it up at all. Don't even mention Dutch J once.
Yeah. Just say just randomly, I'll be like, shoutouts to Ropan. And that's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rowan the Panda made it. Ropan.
Yeah.
Classic.
But yeah, one of these days we should do a commentary attempt. I did do a no reset today for memes. My estimate, the one thing about the ESA run is the stressful part is that my estimate is only 240.
You'll be fine. I mean, literally before doing a marathon run, it always feels like, oh man, I'm going to have so nervous. I can't play well. Once you settle in 15 minutes in, you play just fine, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, but the one thing is, I hope that there's 2 parts of my brain. I hope that it's a hype moment in the marathon or something like that. But at the same time, I want it to be early so that I don't have to worry about it too much. So that I can just be
yeah, that was an unfortunate thing for me because when I went to Glitch Infinite, the day I was supposed to go there, I got record-breaking snows where I was, and my flight got delayed by an entire day.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got there, they had to delay my run. I originally had the opening run, which would have been great, just get it out of the way. Yeah. And then it moved to towards the very end, right before the finale of Minecraft.
Yeah. You ended up having the penultimate run.
Yeah, because you can never top Minecraft. It's got to be the end.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that totally, and also missing the entire day. But thankfully, I don't think it'll snow this time. So.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, but it's 90 degrees outside right now, so I doubt it.
Yeah. But yeah, I just hope that one thing that I said, I was just I hope that I'm not leaving Canada for the first time, going on a plane, going to a different country, and then having to spend a lot of the time that I'm gone playing the same game I've been playing for 8 years to prep.
Yeah, dude. I honestly, I wouldn't even worry that much. I mean, gameplay wise, as long as you're pretty much derusted, I think you'll be fine.
I have one. Go for it.
I was just going to say, definitely, if we're, paying so much money and like having this, maybe not once in a lifetime, but like very life-changing experience. We want the main focus to be on things we're doing in Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
Such as going to the European McDonald's.
Yeah.
Number one priority, of course.
Yeah, you asked me, it's like, is there anything to do in Sweden? I'm like, I don't know.
I was
maybe.
like, oh, were you like asking route here or something? Like, what is there to see or something?
We'll see things.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't. I like France has the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Sweden has it has people.
There's people.
There's people there.
There's people there. They'll speak Swedish or they'll speak English.
Yeah.
I don't actually know. I've never been there, so I'm really excited to go. But
Swinglish.
What do you think of this? So I mentioned this.
Okay.
What do you think of this? Because we were talking about the Glitch Infinite run, like I don't know, however many months ago you were doing that, and just like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I was there to do the hundos? We're both going to be at ESA.
Oh snap!
What if we did?
So you're saying I do the whole run, you do the hundos?
No. Won't give you that responsibility. But
okay, like wait, I'm just doing the run now.
what if we did like the idea when I floated the idea of like you playing some levels? It was brought up like, oh, that's kind of like that. I think that's like frowned upon, probably. Like that's
you never really see that, do you?
No.
I wonder why. Like, I guess I don't know.
Because there's like I think it'd be so funny if it's just like I play the entire run and you play King Boo. That'd be so funny.
And I go for cycle skips too. That'd be amazing. Dude, that'd be so hype.
Dude, that'd be hype. God. That'd be like that. That's what I was saying. Like you're better at some levels than me for sure. Like 80% for sure.
Dude. This is crazy. Crazy good idea. Along with that.
Yeah.
So I should go on like this diatribe about how. So guys, I gotta play King Boo for you all. Sid allowed me to do this, but it's for a very special reason because you see, I've been grinding this IL. It's been about 120 hours of this grind. I have yet to get this double cycle skip. And our only remaining theory, because Samurai Man got this double cycle skip in 7 attempts, Noki Doki's gotten it 2 separate times in 2 different runs. The only explanation is I have to be in Europe to get this. So he's giving me one shot to get this in Europe because it's pretty much guaranteed now, right? And then I do it.
And if you do that whole verbatim, like that would be great for the YouTube video.
Yeah, I gotta. That was off the cuff. I gotta make script it a little bit better. But
sure.
Yeah.
No, that was great. But like if that happened, like like either way, if you get it, awesome. If you get one extra cycle or one skip
dude,
cycle,
if I even get one, I would pop the fuck off. Like,
but even if nothing happens, that's even funnier.
Yeah, I wonder. I should like have a semi-prepped reaction for each outcome.
Yeah.
Like if I don't get it, I should just say,
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I guess I guess it was bullshit. Like I don't know.
I guess I'm going back to North America now, bye guys.
Yeah. And then I play Serena 6.
Then I walk away. You're alone playing Serena 6, and I come back. I'm just kidding. I come back, guys.
But yeah, I don't hate the idea of just like for like a few levels. Like why not?
Yeah. I think at least just like the King Boo thing would be funny.
Yeah, I think
it's not like a skill based thing at all. Anyway, it's like
I think
whatever.
King Boo is a fire idea.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And then maybe, like, depending on who else is on the couch, someone does, like, fucking slide or something. I don't know. Just, like, some really, like non-important thing.
Yeah. No, I like the idea.
Because we don't want to take the spotlight from you, of course.
Sure.
It's your show.
It is my category. It's my baby. I'm so glad that I get to run 96 Shines as an event. That's so nice.
that was really nice. Like I think it's the first time. No, I was the first one. Fuck you.
Yeah, but it's like the I've mentioned on podcast before. It's like I've been playing 96 Shines for 7 years.
It's true. Yeah, and you started in 2015. Doing that, I guess. So
yes,
yeah,
like 2015, and I started giving a shit like in 2017 or something, and then like now I have community record, whatever you want to say.
I mean, GDQ and ESA are like the big two. I wouldn't really count Glitch Infinite for like main marathon. So I'd say you're the first one to really 96 in a marathon.
Sure. I don't
that
really
has
give a shit.
more than that has at least 5K viewers.
Yeah,
so.
it'll be a good time. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole like everything, the fact that you're going to be on commentary too, and like we'll have the pick of the litter for whoever else we want on.
Yeah, we really gotta.
There.
Apparently, the rooms are going to fill up pretty shortly after the tickets are online, like Sunday or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we should really finalize like who all's going, figure out rooms and stuff.
Yep.
Ideally, we get some 4-person rooms because cost. So
sure. Well, yeah,
purely money.
We'll definitely figure it out.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what's up.
Exciting stuff.
What else do we got?
I've got quite a number of things. I don't know about you.
You have quite a number of things?
I got quite a number of things. I don't know which is the most pressing thing, though, is the thing.
What quite a number of things could you have? I don't even know.
Just various games and movies and shit that I've seen.
Okay. All right. I watched Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know. It was Nick Cage and Angelina Jolie from like early aughts.
Oh, Nick Cage. I gotta watch like another Nick Cage movie at some point.
Yeah.
See how he's still doing.
I don't know. He's doing fine.
He's doing everything. All the movies.
Go for it.
So I guess I will start with actual video game stuff.
Yeah. Welcome to Video Games Are Hard. Video
games are hard. And I beat one of those hard games that exist called Metal Gear Solid.
Woo!
Yeah, I got mixed feelings about this game. I can definitely tell it's very ahead of its time. It's very, very atmospheric for how pixelated and jagged it kind of is. Just the whole. There were some like genuinely creepy moments, like when you're walking through a hallway full of bloody bodies before the like ninja with a sword boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
The music is very ambient, so you can sort of see where like Hideo Kojima got his roots in the whole atmospheric, PT and stuff.
Sure.
But this game, this game is a movie. It's like 50-50 story and cutscenes, really.
Oh yeah, I believe that for sure.
That being said, though, pretty interesting story. Pretty like the characters are just fun to listen to, how they interact with each other. Whether it's Colonel or the scientists or the Otacon, the nerdy guy is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the bosses is also fun too. You got Sniper Wolf, not the streamer, but like the end person. And yeah, it's just very, very cutscene heavy, which I don't see myself playing this game through again, because if I feel like skipping the cutscenes, you're just you're missing the whole point of it. Like, it's supposed to like sort of engross you in its story and stuff. And now that I know the story, for the most part, it's like, okay, I get it. So, and I mean, the stealth is pretty good. Sneaking around, you feel pretty badass, and it's just fun to sneak around and shit. But when it comes to the combat, like the punching and the shooting, very, very stilted. Like, oh man, it's
yeah.
There's a section where you have to run up this enormous winding staircase that just goes on and on and on. You're going up and up and up. And there's people coming at you. There's people chasing you, people in front of you on the staircase shooting at you. And occasionally you have to stop and shoot to clear some of them out to go on further. And like, I have no way of aiming my gun properly, and it just feels awkward. And maybe I'm just, I got to get good or something, but like, it just didn't feel good to me. Maybe I was doing something wrong. I don't know. I learned later, after I beat the whole game, there were some mechanics I didn't even know about that would have been nice to know about. Like, I didn't even know you could sneak up on someone and like kill them by throwing them over your back or like breaking their neck.
Oh,
I never knew like the snap in the neck mechanic at all. If it was explained at some point, I missed it, I guess.
How did you learn that?
I saw a video.
Oh, you saw a video of it. Okay.
My whole playthrough, I never did that stuff. I thought the only ways to kill were beating someone up or shooting them, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I could have experimented more, I guess, with different buttons. But also, it's like, why would you? Because
experiment more.
You're trying in a stealth game. You never really know how far you can push it. Like, how far can the enemy see me from? Where can they hear me from? You're not really like in a position of, I can fuck around and be like, oh, run up to him and just tap this button and see what happens. So I never bothered to see what would happen, I guess. I just kind of stuck to the plan and just shot from a distance. If an alarm went off, I would hide somewhere and then rinse and repeat.
I feel like it depends on the game for that kind of stuff. Like if it's like Celeste or whatever, you're gonna reset at the start of the room. You're just like, I'll try some shit. But if it's like a game that has the checkpoint like 5 minutes ago, it's like, well, I'm gonna be as safe as possible. Like,
yeah, see, in this game, and you know, the checkpoint system is pretty fair. It's just that the weight of dying feels very heavy, just emotionally.
Yeah.
Because when you die, it's like you get shot to death. This game over flashes on screen. It's like snake, snake, snake. And you feel shitty when you die. You're like, I don't want to die. you feel like you really fucked up when you die.
You feel like you don't want to die.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know, like the way they make you feel like that.
That is nuts.
So because of that, like feeling shitty for dying thing on like Celeste, where it's like just throw attempts at the wall. Yeah. You kind of don't want to experiment with like, maybe I can snap their neck. They never told me I could. Like maybe like you don't think to try that, even though if this were like real life, you would obviously think of that.
Yeah, no shot.
But yeah, and some of the bosses were pretty creative. They were just, the bosses are very difficult until you figure out the strategy to do it, then they're literally free. So it's like, once you know what you're doing, they're, I don't know, like they're pretty free for the most part.
Okay.
Like the final boss in the game, you have to aim a stinger missile at a specific point. Liquid Snake is manning Metal Gear itself and like firing at you homing missiles, and if you get close to him, he has like this laser attack. And I was getting absolutely destroyed at first. Like I didn't stand a chance because I was trying to just like run away as fast as I could in a circle. Mm-hmm. And there is literally no way to outrun these homing missiles. They just inevitably hit you no matter where you go. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I realized you have to like, with certain timing, run back, quickly fire a stinger missile, run into him as fast as possible so that the homing missiles sort of like go over you and miss you. Uh-huh. And then he does his laser attack. Then you run away a little bit more. You dodge his machine gun attack, stinger missile again, rinse and repeat that like 10 times in a row, then you win. But like until you figure out that exact specific sequence of events to do, he just wrecks your shit. So it's like, it's a pretty intense and fun boss fight, but it feels completely cheap till you figure out the strat to do. So I don't know if that's good boss design or not, but I mean, hey, so like I literally went from dying super fast to just like never getting hit a single time. So it's just kind of weird.
You just have to figure out the one Dark Souls boss move and then you're good.
Yeah, it's like most bosses have only one or two very punishing moves that once you learn them, you can just beat them pretty easily. So, but yeah, the story kept it fun. If there was no story, this game would be pretty bad, not gonna lie.
I imagine so.
I'm sure it was better at the time, 98, Sonic Adventure came out in 97. That was groundbreaking at that time. Holds up like dog shit. But I still love it just for the nostalgia factor and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I guess also I got the good ending, which is cool.
Cool.
There's a thing in the game which I didn't even know. Like I looked up more stuff on the game after I beat it to learn there even was a bad ending you could get. The good ending is when you go away with fucking what's her name? I don't even remember. There's some woman who like you meet halfway through your adventure that like dresses up as a guard at one point, and then you had to like
Cortana.
No,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Cortana.
I'm pretty sure that's Halo.
I don't think you've played enough Xbox to know.
Maybe I haven't. Who knows? I forget her name. I'm so bad with names, like when it comes to anything ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, you ride off into the sunset with her when you get the good ending. The bad ending is she ends up dying because of a certain thing you do early on.
Oh.
And you ride off with Otacon, the nerdy guy, instead, which I would argue is also a pretty good ending because I want to ride off with Otacon. That guy's sick. I love this guy. We could go watch anime together and just have a grand old time.
Oh, no, you're reading manga with the anime nerd?
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick, dude. I think they're both good endings, secretly.
Yeah.
Except in the bad ending, someone dies, which is obviously not good.
That's a negative. That's a net negative.
Definitely a negatory. Yeah, the only thing that causes the good versus bad ending is that you get the bad ending. There's a torture segment where I guess it's sort of fan service for the females playing the game, perhaps.
Yeah.
You have shirtless Snake tied up to a thing, and Revolver Ocelot is like, I'm going to send these shockwaves at you unless you can stop at any point if you want to give me some information or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's essentially like a Mario Party minigame where like he sends 4 extended shocks at you where you mash the A button to keep your life up.
Mm-hmm.
And if your life goes all the way down, you die, obviously. Or you can just decide to give up. And if you give up in that torture segment, then you get the bad ending, I guess.
Oh.
But it is an option. But obviously, like, you know, I'm a 6 speed runner. I did the mashing no problem. my life meter never like went below max pretty much. Like it was pretty easy.
Oh, really? Crazy.
I think that on harder difficulties it goes down faster, I've heard. And I was on normal, so that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, actually you do that torture segment multiple times in a row because basically you go between, oh, now you're back in your jail cell. You sit around and you think about how you can maybe escape, but really like you can't unless you do like this convoluted thing. It goes between you in the jail versus, okay, it's time for more torture, or you can fess up. And I did the torture segment like 5 times, I think. Back and forth, torture segment, jail, torture segment, jail. And you can actually cut it shorter if you do a thing. I guess this is my last complaint I want to give.
Okay.
So there is like a part, like you, at some point you call up Otacon, like, Otacon, come save me. I'm in here. It's like, don't worry. I'll use my stealth camouflage and I'll come get you. And then eventually he comes and gets you. He doesn't save you, but he gives you food and like Sniper Wolf's handkerchief through the jail cell for some reason.
Perfect. That's exactly what you need.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The handkerchief is totally pointless. It's just like a plot MacGuffin. But the ketchup is important.
There's ketchup?
Yes. And it's in your inventory and it's like Italian-based fucking sauce. And you're like, well, what do I do with this? And then at some point you get a hint from the colonel or whoever saying like, maybe try using that ketchup but to pretend to play dead. And the guard will be confused and come in and you can like sneak out. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can like use the ketchup, play dead. And then that's like a dope, sneaky way to get out. Cool.
Sure.
I could not figure out how to use the ketchup. I stood in this corner, tried pressing it.
Dude, what a funny statement.
Yeah.
I could not figure out how to use the ketchup.
I'm serious. There's like a bed in the room. I was like, do I crawl under the bed? Where do I use this? I would like, because there's a mechanic where you can like lay down and crawl on the floor. So I assumed, okay, I go into a crawling on the floor position as if I'm laying down. Then I can use the ketchup? Nope. And I'm like, how do I, like, I want to do this cool escape thing, but I don't know how to use the ketchup. So I guess I'm just gonna, and eventually, after enough torture segments, Gray Fox comes and like breaks you out. He's like, come on, get out of here. So you don't have to do it. It just like speeds up the process, I guess.
Okay.
But
in real life, your inventory isn't grayed out.
Yeah, it's like,
You know?
in real life, I could use the ketchup wherever the fuck I want.
You're just like, I'm going to use, you know what? I'm just going to use the ketchup.
And I saw in a video later because I looked up like a speedrun or something. I was just curious. You're supposed to lay right in front of the doorway and then use the ketchup.
Oh, okay.
I was laying on like random parts on the floor that wasn't the right spot, I guess. But it's like, why does it matter where I could die anywhere in this cell? Why do I have to die in front of the doorway? I don't get it.
It makes sense because it's just like, oh, you want the guard to see, but at the same time, it's like, do you want to be like that up front about it? It's like, hey, look, I got blood. Like you're just like,
yeah. I think the idea is that it's so that when he opens the door, you're like right there to like break his legs and get out or something.
Okay.
But like, I didn't get that thought in my head, so it was a cool thing that I just couldn't do because it was so oddly specific.
Yeah.
So yeah, 0 out of 10 game, worst game ever.
Like I just imagine Snake just standing there being like, hey, I got like just passed out, just like, hey, you see this blood? You see You see it?
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Dude,
you don't see it?
It was so frustrating because I was like, how do I use the catch? I gotta go do the stupid mashing thing again. I can't use the ketchup.
I can't use the ketchup.
But yeah. So anyway, I think it was worth playing just to like see a classic game, a video game culture. See,
Sure.
it's actually not the first Metal. There were 2 Metal Gears before this one, like one on the NES, one on some other thing. But Metal Gear Solids were like the series really took off. So
Yeah.
it was. I might play newer games in the series if they're a little more mechanically good feeling, or maybe the story's more interesting. Who knows?
Yeah.
Not anytime soon though. I might want to play a game a little less story driven at some point. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like going back to older games is cool. Like older games that aren't like Nintendo. It like is an interesting thing to do. Like going back.
Oh yeah, because the Nintendo ones like you kind of already know.
Yeah, well, like sure, I've never played Conker's Bad Fur Day or anything like that. So
the ending of it made me cry.
Pardon me?
The ending of Conker's Bad Fur Day made me cry.
Oh yeah.
While watching a Let's Play of it.
That's such a fun fact.
Yep.
But yeah, like going to alternate series, like I had never played before Resident Evil 4. Like I guess I played Resident Evil 4 when it was new, but I've never played like any of the first 3. And like I liked DMC Devil May Cry, but I've never played the first 3 or the first 4, I guess, or 5. So it's interesting that so I bought actually the first 3 because it was like the HD collection was on sale on Steam.
Yep.
And I suggested it to you. Did I suggest it to you? Or did I?
I don't think you did, no.
Oh, okay. Well, get screwed over, I guess. But
you can suggest it right now.
Hey, it might be still. It's probably not on sale anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I bought it like a week and a half ago. But like, yeah, I plan to go like do that. But I was a Nintendo, like you were a Nintendo kid too.
Oh yeah, totally. Until we got like a 360.
Yeah.
And then we kind of got some non-Nintendo stuff. But yeah.
So like going to the older generation of different series might be interesting, like Metal Gear Solid. What's another one like in that vein, like Splinter Cell?
I was thinking that because of stealth, yeah.
Yeah, and like maybe the Uncharted's. God of War I've played, like the first 3, but that's because they on the PS3 they actually like remastered the first 2. And you know what? You know what remastering means for God of War 1 and 2? On
what
the
does
PS3, it means absolutely jack shit. Like it looked absolutely terrible. But
it's not like they did nothing; it just makes it look worse.
Well, it's just like they're trying to. It's not like it's like we're bringing Wind Waker to the Wii U. Like they didn't make it HD. They didn't do anything. That's just like it's basically you're just playing the PS2 game on PlayStation 3. It's like, well, cool, I guess. And that kind of deal. But like I can't even like I've never played Halo 1 or like it'd be cool to play Halo 1. I think I've beaten 2 before, but years ago.
I actually played Halo 1 a long ass time ago. It's one of the first games we got on our 360 because we're like, hey, the 360 can run OG Xbox games, so let's get this.
Cool. And
God, I must have been early middle school when I played it or something. But I've never had a pretty good time with it. It's pretty short, the campaign, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I've started it like a bunch of times or something with like a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Just like, you would just like start it and then I would like leave. Like I was like, we're having a sleepover, let's play Halo. And then like we'd get bored and play Fusion Frenzy. Fusion Frenzy is dope, by the way. Everybody that hates Fusion Frenzy is dumb.
Wait, does anyone hate it or do they just not know about it?
I don't think anybody knows about it.
I don't know if a single person is like, I hate Fusion Frenzy.
The only thing about like OG Xbox is that like everybody's like, original Halo's sick and Blinks the Time Cat should make a return. That's kind of it.
Blinks the Time Cat.
I don't remember. How does everybody remember Blinks the Time Cat? That's my question.
I sure don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I beat Halo 1, but it was when I was at too young of an age to appreciate the story and stuff in it.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I was kind of just like, well, I'm shooting at aliens and whatever, so cool.
I gotta capture this point. Oh, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm like, now, why are the aliens in this level different than the aliens in that level?
Yeah, if you had a like gun to my head, asked me what the story in 007 GoldenEye is on N64, no fucking idea. I have no idea. Like,
I bet it follows the movie somewhat.
I love the movie, but
well, yeah,
like,
it's probably the same as the movie then, right?
well, they don't. I can't imagine it's the same. It's like a movie versus a video game. Back in
the beginning
90s.
of the movie jumping off a dam?
I think it literally is.
That makes sense.
Well, no, it's not jumping off a dam. Dam isn't a part of it. The facility, the end of the facility level
dam?
is the what?
The dam is a made up situation?
Dam isn't part of the movie.
Damn. I didn't even expect that to be a pun. But there you go.
Yeah, the GoldenEye movie starts with the end of facility, where it's just like he like you get the plane at the end of. Is it facility? It's called facility, right?
Yeah, that's the second level.
Yeah, well, I guess the third level where you get the plane.
Dude, everything I know about GoldenEye is just from like watching ILs of it.
There's
and,
a plane that you get in the third level of GoldenEye, and that's the start of the movie. But it's like a totally different scenario. In like in like the video game, you just kind of like hack into the computers and like shoot all the soldiers, and then like enter the plane with like a key. It's kind of a lame level overall. In the movie, he's like the plane flies off without him, and then he like. I don't even remember. Does he like climb up and punch the pilot or something? And then it's in a nosedive and he has to like fall into the plane again. I can't even remember what the start of GoldenEye is, but it's like that, way more actiony. And then the video game attempt at that level is like, oh yeah, you got keys for the plane. and then he entered the plane.
You gotta make the scenarios so it's like what story beats are only involving shooting and clicking on buttons and stuff.
Yeah. Well, also
you can't like. Well, they should have had like a casino segment or something. That would have been dope.
Ooh,
a gambling segment.
And it's the 90s.
Yeah,
like I can imagine like an Uncharted style version of the GoldenEye movie game, and it's just like way different. Like just falling, like nose diving and falling into the plane, and then like catching it up or like pulling it up and everything like that. But I'm pretty sure that's how the movie started. Something close to that. Like I think it literally starts with the facility, and then that's how that movie starts. But yeah, I don't know. The idea of going to older games is dope for sure.
Yeah, older non-Nintendo games, even games like Crash, Spyro, all that stuff. I've never played those before.
My neighbor owned Crash. I was that annoying kid. You ever have this annoying kid? I was the annoying kid that would go over to the kid's house that was slightly older than me, uninvited, by the way.
Ooh,
and
so annoying.
I would be like, oh, is what were their names? Are Dan and Jeff home? I don't know. And are they home? And it's just like, oh yeah, they're upstairs or whatever. And then I would go hang out. I would just be like their neighbor friend that just like went and played with their video games and their Pokemon cards, and I was just that kid.
You were mooching.
I was the loser like neighbor kid when I was a kid. Oh man, thinking back on that,
that's how you play more games when your parents aren't down to buy more. You know?
Yeah, they had a PlayStation. I didn't.
I didn't have PlayStations either, and thinking back on it, missed out on a lot of games because of it.
Ooh,
like Metal Gear Solid. So.
Oh yeah. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Out of 10.
It's hard to say because
it's so old.
I wasn't big on the gameplay. It's just too clunkomatic. The ending also had like a ton of backtracking just for the excuse of more story dumping and stuff.
It's a classic. Can't really fault it.
It's the first of its kind. 10 out of 10. You can't really fault it. I like this. I actually did genuinely enjoy the characters in it though. Like they were like fun to listen to. Amazing voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just for its time, even for like now, it's good voice acting.
Metal Gear.
I would give it a 6.5 Rooney.
Woo! Is that factoring in the fact it's 90s, or like is that like no, if it came out today?
On like today's merits, if you ignore the graphics.
Okay.
I would give it like a 6.5.
Ignore the graphics, not enough water, 6 out of 10.
If you make like all these accommodations for like a modern rating, then yeah.
It only has one theme, tropical.
Only has one theme, dark and depressing. And very, very green and blue.
I got the
Except
bad
for
ending.
this one, the bad ending.
Yeah, I got the bad ending, -1. But
But
yeah,
I think her name is Joyce. Might have been Joyce. I don't know.
I don't know the characters from Metal Gear, so I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't asking you.
Well, I'm just clarifying. I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game, so you're one up on me. Over the past week, the last podcast I was talking, you were talking about Inscryption and playing Inscryption and starting Metal Gear, but I said like, oh, by next guest list, I'll have beaten Inscryption and like we can talk about it. I haven't beaten Inscryption yet. Gonna be honest with you.
By the way, it's Meryl.
Oh, that's different. I've definitely heard the name Meryl before.
I don't know where I got Joyce from, but yeah, it's Meryl.
It might Meryl Joyce.
Yeah, they're similar. Come on.
Oh, for sure.
Cut me some slack.
But yeah, so I actually played a fair bit of Inscryption. I actually have more hours in Inscryption now than Trey does.
Yeah, I beat the game.
But I still haven't beaten it. I think I have like literally 16 hours in, and Trey beat it at 10. So,
oh yeah, I beat it at like 13.
Oh yeah, beat it at 13.
But that's mainly because, and I mean, we can get a little more spoilery now because we both played it.
I think so.
If you haven't played Inscryption yet and you want to play it still for some reason,
on the YouTube video we have timestamps, so just like skip past whatever this is.
Skip ahead to if you're not on YouTube, just like sort of guess where we're gonna stop talking about.
Yeah, just kind of like I don't know, like 10 minutes, and if we're still talking about Inscryption, so like just keep going on a little bit further.
Anyway, wait, who was gonna say something?
I think you were about to say something. Inscryption, spoilers. We can get into spoilers.
Yeah. So, are you past the 16-bit segment?
Yes, I'm past the 16-bit segment.
So you're on the computer, like it's actually it has like a Souls-like thing where if you die, you got to come back to retrieve your cash or you lose it all.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly where I am.
And you know what? I am proud to admit I died a few times, never lost my cash.
Yeah,
so.
Well, like, the thing about that specific segment, like, every time I die, I'm just like, oh, I was just like 3 screens.
Yeah, I was like already right here.
So. Like, it's just like, oh, here's my $20 back. Cool.
Yeah.
But, the game itself, I don't know, like, you telling me that there was like a big twist or whatever, I got stuck on the initial room a little bit. So the main thing, I just remember what it was. I only ever had to beat the initial room a single time. Yeah.
Because I managed to get, I got the futuristic eyeball where you can see the Matrix.
Yeah.
I looked at the clock. I was like, oh, there's a fucking boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Here's a film roll. I don't know what this is for. I guess for the camera for some reason.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get the film roll and you beat him, it has the cutscene where you like try to put the film in the camera, attempt to take a picture of him. He's like, no, give that back. And I actually thought I fucked it up.
Yeah, then you think you fucked it up.
Yeah,
I had the same feeling.
Because I was like, was I too slow? Like, did I not get the picture properly? And like, am I like gonna restart or something? But no, like it kicks you out, and you get the new game option, then it like starts the 16-bit segment.
Yeah.
But then Sid actually had to beat that segment multiple times.
I didn't have, so like in the initial room, if you are listening to it and you don't care about spoilers, so in the initial room, there's a bunch of like small puzzles to like do. And once you can like back away from the table, you can like kind of figure things out. And like if you die, there's actually hints. You did see that part. There's like little hints in the, like once you're resetting, once he takes the photo of your death card and you have like flash white, there are like small cutscenes that like if you aren't actively like progressing the game, it'll give you like small hints on like a painting, which was actually shown a little bit more in the 16-bit segment. I
don't remember that too well, but maybe I don't know.
The guy that one of the 4 scribes, I guess they're scribes.
Oh, you mean the cars that talk to you?
No, yeah, well, yeah. They're scribes, right?
I forget what they're called.
Yeah, like I think you're literally replacing a scribe in the 16-bit segment. So one of the scribes, the like hedge guy, the guy covered in like just hedges, like he's he during those small cutscenes after your death card picture is taken, there's like a shot of him like you zoom in on some figure standing there in front of a painting, and it's a hint as to what you're supposed to go do next.
You know, I don't know if I ever did that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because you seem to like figure it all out pretty quick. I like stopped doing the room stuff at some point, and then at some point.
Wait. Actually, one more question.
Go for it.
Did you ever get the green goop item?
I did.
Okay, is that also required or no?
I think it is.
Because I thought about ignoring it, but I decided to pick it up because I was like, oh, it's a new item. Fuck it, I'll just get it. You know, he's saying, oh, don't choose that. And even though I was like, it might ruin my run though, because I don't know if I can even use it as an item. Anyway, because I was so focused on just like winning the game.
Yeah, and then it's just like, oh, you can't use this. I'll put it on this shelf over here. Yeah,
and I was like, I don't really understand. Like guy tells you stuff.
Yeah, he gives you hints about things. Like he will tell you that like, oh, the thing. Like if you go talk to him after you get the film from the cuckoo clock, he'll be like, oh, you got it? Okay, good. Like.
It's like now you gotta win the game and take a picture of him. And
and pretty much like I think he's just like a better hint system. Maybe you don't have to get it, but it does remove him from the pool of like items, so that's good.
So I guess I got hints from that at least.
Yeah, but yeah, so like it does give you gradual hints if you just like are just playing the quote unquote roguelike that is Inscryption, like if you just kind of play it as a roguelike, you can just kind of keep playing it over and over again. But if you don't do the like in-room puzzle, it'll just be like, you should probably do a little bit of a puzzle. Like you should you should probably explore the room like over here where the wolf figurine is. Like
dude, even the main guy, like the game master who doesn't want you messing around with the room is kind of like, you can get up if you want to, you know. I'm not forcing you to sit down.
At some point, he goes like, "Oh, you can give me a second to like prepare." Like you walking around the room gives me time to figure out what comes up next. Like he literally says that.
You never feel pressured by him to like, you know, hurry and play the game. No. You know, he's like, oh, you know, you can stand up. I can make a map better or something.
Yeah, there's just but yeah, so it tries to like force you. It does like go like, oh, you should go explore the room, go over to this part of the room, go over to this part of the room. And what I got stuck on, so I did have to beat the Inscryption roguelike 3 times in order to get to the next part. Trey only beat it once.
Getting through this roguelike takes like an hour and a half. Like it's long.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed the game. Like I was having a good time.
Yeah, it was good. That's my favorite part of the game was going through that.
but what's funny is that like when I beat it the first time and you get kicked back, the like meta game of it is like you're a YouTuber essentially that opens card packs and
so like this was actually the thing that I didn't express my annoyance with getting spoiled right out the get-go enough last episode.
Sure.
The Steam explanation page, the preview of the game shows the Lucky Carter, like the YouTuber guy, on there. So I'm like, immediately before I even buy the game, before I even know what the game is, I know that at some point this YouTuber is going to show up. I would have been much more shocked if it came up, not even knowing that was going to come up at some point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they would immediately spoil that, but whatever.
Yeah, like if you just go in being like, oh, this is a fun roguelike, it's like, oh, this is actually pretty, like from my perspective, I was just like, oh, it's a good roguelike. It seems fun, like the card builder. I enjoyed literally the card building aspect more than I did Slay the Spire.
It's a oh really? Wow.
Well, like in the first part.
Mm-hmm. The first part.
Yeah, and
you were complaining about the second part a little bit.
Dude, the second part, card building, it gives you too much freedom.
Yeah, and I think I got through it pretty fast because I stuck with what was working and just like stuck with it through the end.
Yeah,
I never mess around.
I actually experimented with the robot cards, and they're actually OP.
Okay, I never touched the robots because I didn't know how the energy system worked until you're forced to use it.
Yeah.
I assumed that like you would actually have to pay the energy for good using it.
Yeah.
But no, it's like the next turn it just goes up 1 regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good then.
It's actually really interesting that they use such like niche mechanics for such a small amount of time, at least in the 16-bit segment. I am past the 16-bit segment. But Yeah, so in my initial, like in the initial room, it kept going during the death card. Like it takes the picture of the death card, and then it's just like a white screen, and then it brings you back. But it kept showing me this picture of a knife. It's like it like the knife that you get at some point. Like you earn it by like smashing one of the things or opening a drawer. One of the puzzles.
I think the rat's holding it or something.
Yeah, the rat's holding the knife, exactly.
Yeah.
And or the squirrel. Is it a rat?
Whatever. Some rodent.
The rodent's holding the knife, and you unlock the knife, and then after that, it just kept showing me the knife over and over again. And I'm like, what the fuck do you like? I've popped out my eyeball multiple times at this point, and like in the game, you can use the knife to poke out your eyeball to put what is it? It's worth 4. It's worth.
Oh yeah, it's
worth
very
4
gruesome though. Like the way like they animate it, you almost feel.
Yeah,
bad doing it. It's like, oh god, this is horrifying.
And then until your eyeball's replaced, the right side of your screen is just like I can't see like power levels on some cards.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta look around the board more.
Yeah,
you know the way that they do it, it's very. You feel like you're actually there at the table. Like
for sure.
It's super immersive, especially like when the eyeball's taken out. It actually feels like, oh my god, I can't. Like, I don't know, it just feels so VR without being VR.
Yeah, and
it's pretty sick.
Like, the guy on the opposite side of the table, like, you can never see his face except for at the end, and then he's putting on masks and stuff to change roles.
Dude, I love how into it he is with, like, all the different masks.
Yeah, I think the first, roguelike part is so sick. But
yeah, it's really good.
So the hint kept telling me knife. It's like, oh, pan in, and it shows the knife on the painting. I'm like, okay, knife. And it just kept showing me the knife over and over. It's like, what the fuck do I have to do with this knife? And so the thing you have to do with the knife is poke your eyeball out and put it down. And what I did the first time was use the knife because not because it told me to, but like I was just like, oh, what does this perk do? Knife, stab, and I'm like, oh my god, Jesus Christ! And it just like removes your eye and puts it on his scale. And if you just like give him another piece of damage, if it's the start of the match, you just win. And because it's worth 4 and you need to be 5 in order to beat him.
I thought it did 3. That's 4 is even more OP.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
and then he gives you a set of he gives you a chest that opens and like goes like, oh, pick an eyeball. And the immediate no matter who you are, you pick the technology looking one.
You get a bunch of normal looking eyeballs, one with like maybe 2 pupils. Just this one with like a Tron thing on it. You're like, I'm picking the Tron eyeball. Fuck that.
I think I literally picked it immediately. And
yeah, it's like, what the fuck else would you pick?
and when the box and then the chest in front of you closes, it unlocks this matrix layer, and you see like the invisible written goop on the chest,
like sunshine goop everywhere.
Yeah, literally sunshine goop.
Like from Serena Beach, it's the blue stuff.
Actually verbatim, and it
the
says
same color.
Yeah, and it says the cuckoo clock will be salvation, like something along those lines. I can't remember what exactly it says. Like the cuckoo clock is the answer, like something like that. And I never, in all of eventually I did do it, but what it intended you to do is at that point step away from the table and look at the cuckoo clock, and you can always move the hands of the cuckoo clock, but I never knew the code. And if you have the eye, the room actually has the goop on certain things, and it shows you the answer on the cuckoo clock. And I never knew that because I just never left the table with the eyeball. Because
and my first hunch when I got the eyeball was, I'm gonna check every single nook and cranny.
Yeah,
because this is probably the most information I'll ever get in the room at any one time. So I better be very thorough.
We're just different game players. I just didn't even think to leave the table.
Yeah, I'm shocked you wouldn't think to do that. That's
and when I eventually just got the technology eye by fluke, just got the technology eye and stepped away from the table. I'm like, fuck. At this point I had beaten the game twice, and I'm just like, okay, what do I do? It keeps telling me this knife over and over again. And then I got the technology eye, just unrelated, stepped away from the table. I'm like, it gives me the answer. Oh, fucking Jesus. And then, so then I gave the answer, and then I talked to the goop, and it was just like, oh yeah, use the film. I'm like, yeah, I know where to use this. Because you've never seen the cutscene at the end of the game where...
No, I've never gotten a victory card.
I got 2 victory cards. And where it's just like, oh, he just takes your photo, and it doesn't give you a card that's put into the game. It just like hangs on the door. Like it's literally just pinned to the door. So if you walked to my door before I beat the first part of the game, it would be like a card named Danny and a card named, I can't remember what the fuck the other card was named, but I just started randomly naming all my cards because it's just like, oh, now put your name for the new death card. I'm like, I'm not gonna put Sid millions of times.
I always put variations of Trover. there was Trogzor, Trova. I always do that. So.
Yeah, and but yeah, when I finally got the film, I'm like, oh, because I've seen the cutscene where you have the camera to your side and grab it and then try to take his photo, but it never worked because you didn't have film. And and it's just like, oh, and then he says, oh, give me that, and then takes your photo again for a victory card, and that's it. But having the film, I'm like, oh, okay, like now I know how this works. And so I have to get back to the end again. And there's some like pretty OP combinations you could do for the first part.
Yeah, it's roguelike in the way that each time you die or win without getting the proper plot stuff, you get more and more OP cards added to your arsenal.
Yeah, because it gives you
it just makes it slightly easier each time.
Yeah, for each death card, it gives you like a set of cards that you had in your deck. It's just like, oh, what's the cost of the card that you want this death card to be? And I'm like, well,
1.
Yeah, well, then you pick the one that has like nothing, just like the cost of nothing, the cost of 2 bones, the cost of 1 blood, or the cost of like 3 blood or 4 blood. And I'm just like, well, I'm gonna make it cost almost nothing or nothing. And then it's just like, oh, now pick one of these cards and use their attack power and health. And I'm just like, well, I'm gonna use the one that's the best. So it's like you get these like really low costing cards with the best stats, and then just like, oh, now change the sigils, which are like the little bonus power ups that each card gets, to be on your death card. And you're just like, well, I'm going to use the ones that are really good. So it's just like you get these overpowered cards that cost like almost nothing. And one of my most overpowered cards was just like a cost of 1 blood, which is like 1 sacrifice, a squirrel or like whatever soul you want to like sacrifice, whatever card you want to burn. And then it was for like 7 health and 7 attack, which is like if you put that down first turn, you win.
Oh yeah, that's a crazy amount, because there's that one card, I forget, like Uriah or something.
Yeah.
And I've never actually used it because that costs 4 sacrifices.
Yeah.
Even though at many points I actually had 4 cards down, so it's like I could have used it if I had it, but you know.
I had it in my deck, and it was just like, oh, what do you want to use? What do you want to use? The stat from the Bullfrog or Uriah? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use 7 and 7.
I typically went with like lower sacrifice. I always went like very heavily bone based. I like the bone currency. I could just like I could generate so much of it. It's like I could just play these bone cards and it's easy. That's how I just like cheese the 16-bit segment with like all the skeletons and stuff.
Yeah.
I was hesitant to put like a lot of grizzly bears and stuff in my deck, because I'm like, if I get like a grizzly bear in my initial hand, what am I gonna do? Just like it's like a late game option. So
I totally get that. I like the powerful stuff, but I like the like my setup for my first 3 wins were just kind of like overpowered stuff. Like the more, and after you beat it a few times, you get even more overpowered, I bet. Yeah, you can get like totems that affect your squirrels in like a really good way. It's like, oh, I put down something that costs nothing that I literally have a pile that I take a card from, that I have a choice to take a card from. It's like, oh, I have another squirrel, and they could be like with certain sigils or like power ups, they can be really good. So it's just like, oh, okay, now I just have like 3 squirrels that like affect my whatever the field of play in a really good way for me. And it's just like, okay, well, this is just broken. I'm just going to win.
By the way, and I'm assuming you did figure it out because you did like literally 3 playthroughs, but did you figure out like the super busted strat against the moon final boss?
Oh, just the poison guy. The poison.
Yeah, just the lowering attack by 1, then you just win.
I literally did that by like, you mean just the one is just like, oh,
the stink bug.
Oh no, I didn't do that at all.
Oh, wait, what did you do?
I like the sigil that is just like, oh, gets killed in 1 hit.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
That just works.
See, I guess an alternate strat is the stink bug lowers attack by 1, then it has 0 attack.
Ah.
Then you just go to town on it. And when you play the stink bug, he's like, wait, I didn't see this ending coming. Oh no. And I'm like, well, too bad, you're gonna die. So
Yeah, I didn't know that one. But
yep.
But yeah, I always just like, oh, I have one of the like, oh, kill with one hit.
I forgot there were like one hit kill cards. That's a super easy way to do it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, like literally the first time I got to the ending or the last fight with the moon, which it has like 40 health and however much like it doesn't have any attack.
It attacks all 4 spaces for 1 damage.
Yeah, and you can just beat it until it goes like dies. But I accidentally had something that had a sigil for 1 hit kill. And I just like attacked once and it was just dead. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right. I guess that applied to the moon as well. And that's fine. But then I got to the 16-bit segment and I went to the second boss first, which was dumb of me. I didn't know.
Yeah, so you didn't have like any cards hardly to like deal with
No,
that.
I got until the boss, but then I just like felt like I was preying on RNG, and I thought it was the first boss. Like I didn't think that you had to go to the top right forest.
You're
guy.
like, man, the difficulty really ramped up in this part. God damn.
Yeah, and you have to build your own deck. Like the thing in the 16-bit segment is and like past the meta. What was his name again? Luke.
The YouTuber.
Yeah,
I think it was Luke. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get past all that and you start the 16-bit segment, the roguelike, the first room, it just kind of naturally builds your deck. You start with like the same 4 cards every time, and then you get like cards as you beat things or like go over those things in the environment, and you just collect your deck and you just build your deck that way. In the 16-bit segment, it's not natural at all. It's just like, oh, okay, so you have all of these collected cards that you have in your possession. Now build a deck that has at least 20 cards in it. And I'm just like, ugh. Like it feels so gross in comparison when you don't really know what you're doing. And like building the deck felt troublesome, but also go for it.
I was just gonna say it felt daunting at first, but then like my immediate strategy turned out to be pretty good, so I just kind of stuck with it through the end. Like occasionally, like, oh, I got something better, I'll swap this one out for that, and then
yeah. And I
guess I got lucky with my strategy.
Yeah, I didn't, and like I was having some trouble, and what was the there was something I was gonna say, left my brain.
One of the bosses, or like. The first area with like the 3 dudes.
Because
I had to like tell you like, oh, the combination, like it's the same as the
randomness. Like like the randomness felt so punishing in the build your deck segment, where it's just like you can start with a set of cards that like it's literally unbeatable. Like, oh yeah, if you don't
that's the thing, is that the challenge, and this is like the main challenge of, I guess, any card game, like Yu-Gi-Oh especially. I don't know the Yu-Gi-Oh meta whatsoever. I'm talking out of my ass right now. But typically you want to have smaller decks, you know. You can have anywhere from 40 to 60 cards in your deck. But you want to go for 40 because the fewer cards you have, the more consistency you have.
Exactly.
And it's all about maximizing deck consistency. So it's like, what's the best possible combination to where no matter what opening hand I get, I can make it work somehow.
Yeah.
And that's the main challenge of it, to be honest.
And one of the power-ups in like both in the room and in the 16-bit segment is there's a 4-leaf clover you can get that Trey didn't get.
I never got that. I saw it.
Yeah, there's a 4-leaf clover you can get that you can once you start a battle and see your cards, you can actually re-roll your first cards.
Although actually, that 4-leaf clover in the post game, when you can just go through the roguelike segment over and over again if you want.
Sure.
I saw the 4-leaf clover there. I'm like, oh, it's like a new game. Like a post-game thing only? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Nope. But you can get in the main game too.
You can definitely get in the main game. I'm not quite there. I'm at the like robot part. And I'm actually having like some, like where I am, I feel like I'm trapped where it's just like I don't have good enough cards to get past where I need to get past.
Oh yeah. I feel like in that segment you can get very screwed depending on what you have. It's tricky. Like, it's interesting because once it gets to turn 5 or 6, you can just play whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Well, you can play whatever you want, but like only one thing.
No, yeah, like if it's a 6-cost thing, you can only play that.
Like I felt so badass in the initial room where it's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to sacrifice this and put this and then like you can have some really extensive moves, and in this one it's just like, oh, well, you have 6 power. You can put down a 6 power card.
Yeah,
like,
see,
okay.
it's just so basic, and yet it comes down to the cards you have.
Yeah.
Like the first area really is just the greatest combination of skill and I guess a little bit of luck, and it's just the most interesting. Like I said, like they front load the fun in this game to keep you hooked in it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like the fun takes a backseat to the story as you go, as I'm sure you noticed.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually excited to play the roguelike once it's like post game because I really enjoyed playing that.
I did it a couple times and then I failed my second attempt at like the very last boss and was like, I think I'm good. Like I get the idea here, whatever.
But yeah, long story short, I've played a fair bit of it and I've enjoyed what I've played. Like, I don't know, I can definitely tell where it's going, and like I understand your 7.5 rating from last week, but in my like when I was doing the roguelike, I'm like, oh, this is actually dope. Like I'm surprised that Trey put it so low, and I'm just like, oh, and then the 16-bit segment have it, and in this part, I'm just like,
yeah, you see, like I think the first part's like maybe a high 8 for me.
Yeah, I think
it's pretty dang fun. Yeah,
I like that. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I've been playing Inscryption a fair bit.
Did I play any other games aside from Metal Gear? I mean, I've been speedrunning Sunshine. Woo!
Same. I did a no reset today. I tried to do a no reset yesterday, and I game overed in pin of 6. Make fun of me.
Game over, yeah.
You don't use that as a voice. You don't use that as a bit.
Yeah, Dang. Game over, yeah, is dead. It's not special anymore.
I'm so glad that you retired it though.
You're the first person to say that.
Well, like I understand the getting tired of a voice line or like just any clip that plays whenever you reset.
Yeah, and it's also so long. I'm like, I want to like say something after I reset, like, oh, you know, I should have done this and this. I gotta wait for the game over, yeah, because you can't hear me if I'm talking over. You can't hear me, so it's like I want the quick. What did I trip on? And then I just say something.
Yeah, I had a voice line of you as my reset sound for a bit.
You got tired of hearing me?
Well, it was like a random clip from you playing King Boo. It's just like, oh my god, this run sucks. Oh,
I remember that.
And I used it as a voice line for resetting, and then I'm just like, I think I got fairly sick of it like within a few months, and I'm like, I'm okay. Like
dude, I'm shocked at how long I put up with Game Over. Yeah, because
me too.
I heard it so long, so many times.
Like anything you put there that means like, oh, I'm resetting because my run was bad, you'll get sick of for sure.
It's literally the same effect as whatever effect or sound you put as an alarm clock you grow to hate.
Oh yeah.
Like if I put Game Over, yeah, as my alarm clock, I'd hate it too. So
yeah. It's like,
it's the same idea because like you associate it with negative feelings. Working, having to get up, you know, lack of freedom. It's like having to, you know, like the same idea as like, oh, failing a run, having to reset, you know, it's a negative association with it. So
I didn't replace it with anything. I was just like, I know I'm going to get sick of whatever I'm going to put here. I'm not going to put anything here. So I just try not to
but
reset.
You know, What Did I Trip On is a classic.
Hey, what did I trip on?
True.
I was in the call for that.
Yeah, 2014 with Cathalon too.
Was it? Was it?
Yeah, Cathalon was there. Yeah.
I keep thinking it was like Jack.
I know. I think Jack was there too, but he didn't say anything in the clip.
Yeah. Okay.
He was in the call, but silence during that particular clip.
Our guest Cathalon was in the clip. What do you think, Cathalon, about being in that clip?
Nah, he left. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
he left hella fast. He had better things to do, like whatever they do in Utah. I don't know.
Mormon.
I guess aside from in Sunshine, I managed to get. I got a 115 with 7 extras on King Boo, which is pretty hype.
Oh, that's dope.
So I mean, I'm just I'm out here originally like a few months ago, struggling to get 115s, but with some more work, with some more grinding, I'm getting them like it's nothing, bro. It's like fucking shit, you know?
Yeah.
Which is definitely great to see. It's great to finally see tangible progress after like so many streams of just feeling nothing. So it's definitely nice.
That is.
Anyway, apart from video game stuff, I've been watching like I saw like 2 movies this weekend, which was, my weekend is Tuesday through Thursday. It's really weird. But I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, the new movie that came out from whatever, A24 Studios or whatever they're called.
What was it called?
Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was listening to like the PKA podcast, and they had Hutch on. You remember Hutch, the old school YouTuber?
I do. He's political now.
I don't even know what he does anymore.
He's a political YouTuber. I don't know if he's a political YouTuber now, but he's a political whatever.
He doesn't do video games anymore?
He streams on Twitch.
He's a political gamer?
But he's more political than yeah.
But yeah, Hutch was mentioning this new movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and how it starts out so absurd, then the ending had him just, the waterworks, he was crying like crazy. And I'm like, dude, I love anything that can make me cry, I'm a huge fan of. So I went to see the movie. I did like sort of tear up slightly at one point, but I think my sheer expectation of cryingness sort of killed it for me.
Yeah.
But definitely like a great movie. Very, very zany, very fun movie, but also like with a very good message as well. Mm-hmm. It's a sci-fi movie where the whole concept of it, the main gist of it is very interesting, in which, dude, it's so confusing. There's so much stuff to follow in it. But it's definitely like a fun ride along the way. Like this family, like this Asian family, they're having family problems. Like they're super busy, tied up with like, tax issues, and her mother's too busy to worry about her daughter. And it's like a typical, troublesome situation. But like the dad stays optimistic through all of it, and sort of, you get a glimpse early on, like the dad, there's more to him than appears to be, without spoiling anything. And it just gets so absurd. Like, I don't know. I don't want to like say too much, but I would definitely recommend it to, if you love just general sci-fi stuff and like sort of existential things, it's definitely enjoyable.
Did you go to the movies?
I went to the movies.
You went to the movies?
I mean, yeah, I did that as well for the Sonic 2 movie. I've been, COVID's waning. It's Wayne's Worlding, so
Oh, it's Wayne's Worlding. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the one, like the key aspect of the movie is that in order to transport qualities of you from a separate universe in the multiverse, you need to make an action that is very statistically unlikely to happen, such as eating gum under a table, or give yourself a paper cut between all 5 fingers.
Ooh.
And like, just like the most like a thing you would never think to do ends up giving you qualities from you in a separate multiverse where, let's say, you're an insane martial artist or like a famous musician. You take on those qualities if you have like the special headset on. And it sounds crazy, I know, but like it's definitely like really fun to watch.
Sick.
And honestly, like it has choreographed action scenes that make The Matrix cry. Like they're so well choreographed, like all the fighting and stuff. It was really fun to watch. So
you know what? Might go see it.
Would recommend.
I'll text my cousin after we record, and I'll go see it this week.
You may or may not cry towards the end, but I mean,
okay. I'll let him know too.
All right.
you may or may not cry at the end of this.
And then also go ahead.
No, I was just like I wanted to see the multiverse, what was it, the Doctor Strange movie. That's what I was thinking about. But yeah,
you're into that sci-fi stuff. I figured you'd probably get something out of it.
Yeah, oh well, for yours.
Out of the movie I have just suggested, yes.
Yeah. Well, because I was talking about the Doctor Strange multiverse movie.
Like,
yeah. But like, yeah, I think going to see yours would be a good idea. That'd be dope.
And then also last night I was like, on my bucket list I see Pixar Soul. I watched Pixar's Soul. I watched Soul. Yeah,
you did it. Nice.
It was a good wholesome movie with a really good message, as many Pixar movies are. I don't know. I don't know how much to say about it. Like, it was just like a fun. Have you seen it, by the way?
No, I've not.
Yeah, it's sort of just like it gets pretty real. Like, it sort of wakes you up to the idea, like, like if you die right now, would you have lived a life that is? It's kind of cliche, but also like it's pretty heartfelt and everything.
Sure.
this jazz musician who has a dream of joining this prestigious group that plays every day or whatever. He ends up finally doing it after going through hell and high water, quite literally, like goes to the beyond. He dies, but then like cheats death. And then the people in the pre-born universe who are like quantum figures who take on the shape that humans can comprehend, give him a second chance at life because he fucking cheats the system. Then they're like, oh, you're so inspirational that we'll give you another chance. Anyway, yeah, he ends up eventually like living his dream, but then he's like, maybe it's that feeling of like once you achieve something great, it's like life goes on. So is it really the life that you're really proud of kind of deal,
Yeah.
It's not all about the achievements. It's about the people you meet, the things you see, and the fucking smelling the pizza in the morning. And
I do love the smell of pizza in the morning.
The smell of pizza in the morning in New York, those $2 slices. Anyway, would also recommend. It's a lot, it's a kid's movie, but it's also got adult themes. Very Pixar-y. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, like, that's all. Like, there's some jokes that are just
think of any Pixar movie.
Yeah, just like, there are going to be jokes that go over the kids' heads, and the parents enjoy it to some extent as well. Like, that's just like typical. But
the parents are like,
good.
I get that reference.
I get that joke. You don't, because you're idiot kids.
You're dumb. You're a dumb, stupid kid. But maybe one day you'll get it.
Maybe if you watch it later, you'll get it. One thing. Okay, so this is, I think, the last thing we're going to talk about. Maybe.
Oh, I have one more thing. I have not much to say about it.
Go for it.
I finished Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh,
controversial take. All right, so anyone listening who might be a big anime connoisseur who is like, oh yeah, masterpiece, amazing. I fucking suck its dick every day.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
I'm very eloquent.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, am I crazy? I'm talking to the anime fan, the theoretical anime fan listening to me right now. Am I crazy, or was the ending super cheesy and dumb? Like, okay, it's like, it's sort of like this mecha anime, and it sort of builds up this mystery of, okay, Shinji's father sort of neglects being a good parent to him. It's kind of sad, but like for the sole purpose of preparing for the third impact, which is like the restart of the universe or something. And they man these Eva mechs that fight these creatures called angels. A lot of religious imagery and stuff, obviously, with angels and stuff. And when they die, like a cross appears. It's very obvious. And it's like a pretty fun mech movie with good characters. Like, you can definitely see their personalities come out. They're all broken in some way. Like their parents died early on, so they couldn't really develop properly. I'm explaining like a whole lot of shit like in 1 minute, so it's not going to be very well explained.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But anyway,
I'm just still on like, did it end cheesy and thinking like, okay, so we've done almost 2 seasons. This can't end well.
Okay, yeah. The key thing to make this as quick as possible. All right.
Yeah.
It leads you to believe that the main point of the anime is solving, like, what is Shinji's dad up to? Like, what are the people at this organization called Nerve who have the Evas that fight the angels? What's their ultimate goal? And like, why are these characters like dying off? And who's pulling the strings and stuff? But then it sort of flips to the key focus being the psychological issues that each character is going through, and Shinji coming to terms with, like, he always feels all alone and neglected, and eventually choosing life and being like, yeah, you know what? I want to live the way I want to live. And literally the ending, I shit you not, it's like the most Reddit-y, and then they all clapped kind of ending ever. Okay. Like, he suddenly, like, the last 2 episodes are like this very psychological trip, where it's like very, like, some seizure-inducing imagery to like really hammer in its points about, the different things you might choose in life, or like events that could happen to you that make you a certain way, to like make you want to shy away from society and whatnot. Like it's very deep.
Yeah.
And then it ends with just like Shinji being like, you know what? Maybe life's not so bad. And everyone in the movie, every character stands around like clapping, like congratulations, congratulations, and then it ends.
Is this a spoiler?
Yeah, but like I don't fucking care. It's like, dude, I don't know. I don't like. I would recommend it. It's not really a spoiler. I'm just saying, like, because I didn't like really mention like the actually interesting. Okay. I didn't mention the interesting parts. It has its good moments, and like definitely for the time, it came out like in '95. I could tell it's ahead of its time, much like Metal Gear Solid. But like, it's I don't know. I feel betrayed almost. Like it, I don't know. Like I feel like I was focusing on the wrong, what was important in the story. Like the story ended up not being that important and took like a step back to like these characters figuring out their issues, which I just didn't care about personally. So maybe it wasn't for me because like some people I see like in YouTube comments are like, oh my God, the ending broke me. I was like dying of tears or whatever. Not dying of tears. Anyway,
I was dying of tears.
Tears.
I was crying of dying of tears.
Exactly. And then I'm sitting there like, I saw the ending and I'm like, really? That was it? Like, what the so maybe it just wasn't for me. So I guess my quest to find an anime better than Death Note continues. Woo!
Yeah. Hey,
that does the best.
Code Geass.
Maybe I'll check that out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another KO rec, and I enjoyed it a fair bit.
Again, dude, I just know there's going to be one person out there who crucifies me for what I just said.
Oh, for sure. That's what
I'm just going to say. I fully understand the appeal, especially if you're going through a hard time in your life. You could definitely get like some heartfelt, some good messages out of it.
Yeah. But
it just wasn't for me. Like I didn't really need that for me personally. So it's okay.
You don't want a good message? Code Geass.
Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Code Geass is like definitely sick.
How long is it?
It's only 2 seasons.
How many episodes?
Fuck.
Fucking like 200.
No, it's not. It's not like one of those. It's like in the 30s.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in the 20s. I can't remember.
You know what? I'll check it out.
Yeah, I think that's good. But the one thing I wanted to wrap up with was from what little you watched of me playing of Darkest Dungeon. So I've been playing Darkest Dungeon. So since the difficult games podcast, the top 10 pod, my number one was Darkest Dungeon. I've been picking at it.
Yep.
And dude, have you seen how punishing it can be?
Yeah, it seemed like Barb. I was watching Barb, then I watched you.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Barb literally like just started a new playthrough from like the ground up. I bet the early game's not as hard as like where you are. But he was just like going through it like, yeah, you know, I'll do that, fucking shit on him, and then I'll do this.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, he every time I see him, it seems like he just like knows what he's doing. And then I watch anyone else, not just you, but like Moon or like anyone else. And they're like, fuck, this is so awful.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Dude, there were some some missions where I literally got, I had like I had a mission filled with level 0s. So it's just like really like clean, fresh pack just to like go level them up. I went to like an easy mission.
Like rookies in XCOM.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, I'm going to go do this mission. I'm going to get some XP. I literally in like 2 fights, the whole mission turned around and they all got stressed out and they all were dying. And I'm just like sitting there going like, bro,
this is guys, like chill out.
Like they couldn't hit a move for their life. Like the RNG was just like, no, you're not hitting this move. They have too much dodge. And I'm just like, well, I don't have many good debuffs for this. So like, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying to hit this guy. It's just like, please hit him once. It's like nothing. And just the past couple times I've played the game, it's just been like randomly, it's perfectly fine. Like, oh, this mission went smoothly. We got all the stuff. Maybe like somebody had enough stress to go and get one of the like negative or even positive quirks, not quirks. Quirks is a specific thing in that game, but like one of the negative traits, like selfishness or whatever, after you get 100 stress, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. They can go like have some respite and rest some of that stress off. But like some missions went totally fine and had that, or just like went totally fine and nobody got stressed out. I'm like, cool. But like some missions, just like within my past few sessions, just like, this is going fine for you. This is going fine for you. You're all gonna die. And within like 2, and maybe I should have a better trigger finger on the abandoned mission click. But like money is so valuable in that game where if you go back to your homestead and don't have enough money to like fund your next mission, you're just kind of like, you're just screwed. And especially for like that mission, unless you like do a bunch of like level 3s or 4s for like a level 0 mission, like that probably would be totally okay. But one specific time, I literally started a mission. I kitted out everybody. Like I kitted out everybody. I got all the good moves for everybody. And the one thing
I think I was there for that.
And the one thing I didn't do was give my Crusader, who's like my front guy, who was going to do probably most of the damage, or like be like equal parts of the most damage. I forgot to like look at everybody's moves to like see which moves everybody had equipped for literally just the start of it's like, you go to one fight and run into like one bunch of enemies and you're just like, I screwed up that. Well, I could just like finish up this like first fight. It's fine. And just then I can equip my regular move and be on with it. And for some reason, he just didn't have his just damage move. He like literally just didn't have his like, I'm in front of everybody. I have this sword move that just hits him. Like I didn't have that one equipped of the 4 I had equipped. I'm just like, how the fuck did I not have this equipped? Whatever. And my first fight of that mission, I just like didn't even think to go look at it. And I walked forward and the first fight was, here's this large boss-esque enemy. And it has 100, like, I don't remember what they're called. I've seen them before. It's one of the big giants. Anybody that knows Darkest Dungeons is like one of the giants with the tree stump as a weapon. And it has 100 health. And then like a couple things behind it literally trying to give you blight in the weld or the wield. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, but it's just like the WEALD area. And like the blight givers in the back, and then this big tree trunk guy in the front, and I didn't have my damage dealing attack with the Crusader, and I'm just like, this is the most punishing I've ever been for literally not having the move that I should have had. Like I don't know how I didn't have that move equipped, but I got fucking raked over the coals for it because I think literally my what is it? The witch doctor. The witch doctor character. I can't remember what they're specifically called in the Darkest Dungeon.
I can picture him. I don't know what he's called.
Yeah. He plague doctor? Plague
that sounds right to me.
Plague something. And yeah, the plague doctor, he died. And I'm just like sitting there going like, well, I literally got punished so hard because the first fight of this mission was one of the harder fights, and I was just like dumb enough to not equip a move. Like that's
it's like the game knew.
Like one move wasn't equipped, and it was just like fuck you. And I'm just like and I'm just like the only thing I could really do with this guy in the position he had without like healing stress or healing whatever was to just try to stun over and over again, and that was all I could do. And I'm just like,
damn.
It was just so punishing. But yeah, like I've been trying to claw that's my issue with Darkest Dungeon. Like I just I start doing prep, and then I get exhausted of prep and then just go, and then I make a mistake. I'm just like, it's like
you're not a preppy man.
I just have like this little ounce of impatience, and it shows, you know? And that's it. And that's all I have really to say about Darkest Dungeon. I haven't put as much time into it.
You can't back out of a dungeon mid-fight?
You can back out of a dungeon mid-fight? And can you... I don't know if you can abandon... I guess you can abandon the fight, but maybe I just should have abandoned the fight.
Yeah, I was like, why wouldn't you just do that? If you do that?
But it's like... I don't know if you can abandon those. I know you can abandon the boss fights. I guess you can probably just abandon common fights. Hey, this is me trying to restart playing the game, the hardest game that I've ever interacted again, and then relearning what the mechanics are again. Ugh,
this is me giving advice in a game I never played before.
They're so hard. But yeah, that's all I've been doing this week.
So there's really like no save scumming possible in this game or anything?
No, it autosaves.
Damn.
It autosaves, and you can't like then duplicate the file or anything like that. It just has.
I'm just thinking about like how hard Fire Emblem will be with autosaving. Oh my god, that'd be so tough.
Yeah, you can't.
Because any mistake can be so punishing. If you just like lose your best units, oh man.
Yeah, if you lose your units in a dungeon, they're gone. Like you can't scan. I'm pretty certain there's no save scum possible whatsoever.
Like even XCOM 2, at least you can save scum that, but it's like crazy hard regardless.
Yeah.
I like how both of our hardest games involve units you gotta manage and like hopefully not lose, and then like relying on random hit rates to hit stuff.
Dude, yeah.
And that's where the randomness creates chaos, which creates difficulty, which is
if the game trusts me to play the video, like if there's not actual mechanics to it. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Darkest Dungeon. There are mechanics, I swear to God. But like if it's like a free form, you get to kind of what would melee players say? Express yourself with your movement or whatever. I'm perfectly fine. Like I'm safe. Like I can hide in a corner and do a first person shooter, and that's easy. Throw the grenades back. Like if it's based on pure like game skill, I'm fine. But then it's just like, okay, well now it's a turn-based game and random hit rates, and when you go into a fight, your moves are set, but you can change them afterward, and you have to
you got to make the best of a bad situation over and over again.
You have to prep for the specific missions and equip everybody with like, oh, this one ups their blight stat or their accuracy stat or their dodge stat. I'm just like, this is like, it's not too complicated for me, but it's just like not something that I want to invest time into. So I just kind of like random it and then go like YOLO and then go, because I just don't like.
Hey, maybe your impatience with preps makes the game harder than it has to be.
Maybe, probably.
If you were just like decked out, fully ready to go every single time,
and then I'd be spending 50 extra hours.
That's what it takes.
To
beat the Darkest Dungeon.
And it's hard. But yeah, that's
anyway.
Yeah, that's I think that's it for the pod this week.
Yep.
Yeah. So next week, hope everybody enjoyed, by the way. Sid and Trey on YouTube.
And Cathalon for like 2 minutes, and it was actually me. Spoilers.
Sid and Trey on Cathalon is not a YouTube channel. But Sid and Trey on YouTube is a YouTube channel. And Google Play or Google Podcasts and Spotify. Next week, we actually have our guests lined up, as we said at the beginning of the podcast, and be excited for it. I don't know what specifically we're going to do. Maybe we'll try to think of something, or maybe it'll just be a convo pod. Who knows? And if you're listening to this in the future and the podcast's already out, just go listen to it and find out what we ended up doing, because I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, present us has a huge disadvantage on future you. So that's how it goes.
But future us, goddamn, we destroy you.
Future us is nuts. And dude, when you did that embarrassing fall in your 96 run,
oh, that's great.
I'm just kidding. You made no mistakes. You got a world record, in fact.
Yeah! All right, see you guys next week.
Bye.